Eric. Good to go, Eric. Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome. We will call to order the regular meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, July 8th of 2025. Appreciate everybody joining us. We would ask if you do have a cell phone, if you please put it on vibrate or silent. We appreciate you doing that. We'll also note that today's meeting, as is always the case, is being live streamed and also recorded. We always begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'd ask you to remain standing for a moment of silence. And Joe, could you lead us to the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. We'll have a moment of silence. Thank you. Vanessa, could you do the roll call, please?
Commissioner Sanado?
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here. So we do have all three of us present. That constitutes quorum. We will have, during our meeting, two opportunities for public comment, one in just a few moments and then one before we adjourn. If you'd like to make a comment, we would remind everybody that we welcome your comments if they are related to county government matters. If they are federal in nature, we recommend you talk to your federal legislators. Same would be true on the state level. And then if it would happen to be a local city, borough, township, school district matter, we'd suggest you talk to the appropriate officials at that level. But if it's a county matter, this is the right place to be. You're welcome to speak both times, at the beginning of the meeting, at the end of the meeting, or if you just wish to speak once, or if you're just here to listen, that's all equally fine. And then we would ask you try to limit your time to about 5 minutes. We appreciate that courtesy. Next on the agenda, we always put aside a time aside for any of our row officers if they need to talk with us. But this morning, none of them are here. They're not obligated to be here, but we always give them that courtesy as well. For public comment, if you do have a comment, we'll recognize you. And if you could state your name for the record, and then we'll hear what you have to say. Are there any public comments at this time? Mrs. Hahn, good morning.
Good morning. Carrie Von Wilmington Township. So this is actually a printout off of the county website. It is the election results for the Lawrence County Republican Committee. I have altered it slightly in that I highlighted some names in red, and in the column on the far right, which was already there, I just capitalized on it and marked off the number of write-in votes these individuals received. When we were here, I was here last week, you suggested that I talk to Tim Germani about issues that I have had in obtaining a complete list of write-in votes. And even last Tuesday, it took several tries for me to finally get a complete list. But I have spent a great deal of time examining it. The individuals who are not in red are not elected officials for the committee. The state law requires that they have at least 10 votes. Write-in votes. They printed out the code, but it is in the code that if you certify an election, you certify the write-ins, they must meet the minimum, the same number of signatures that you would have to have on a petition to get on the ballot. You also have to meet that same write-in requirement that is across the state. So we have 49 individuals that you have certified are members of our committee. And this affects the committee greatly It dilutes the vote of the people who were legitimately elected to the seats to represent the party. We tried numerous times to speak with Tim Germaine about Joan Conte being listed on the wrong precinct. And it is also, and I do have that one piece that I can read to you, in the code, it is the duty of the elections director and the board of elections that no nomination petition, nomination papers, or certificate shall be permitted to be filed if it contains material errors, or defects apparent on the face thereof, or on the face of the appended accompanying affidavits. So Joan Conte's petition, as I said, correctly listed Newcastle 2-3 as her precinct, and she inadvertently put 2-2 on the back. And Mr. Germaine was adamant that she made an error. He put her on that because she made the error, but ultimately it is still his duty to make sure that the right people are in the right precincts. And that cost Joan a seat on the committee. She had the proper petition. We brought it to the attention of the office, and the office chose not to do anything. This error and stonewalling, honestly, for us just to try to get this record, the write-in record, complete report, so that we could verify the signatures, took weeks to get, almost a month to get. And because we were not able to verify our committee members, we were delayed in sending out a notice. As I mentioned last week, we have to send out a notice within 30 days of the certification of the election to hold a meeting for our Republican Party. And immediately, Aaron Bernstein and Marla Brown went directly to the GOP and are trying to take over our meeting now. I don't think they have any lawful authority to do so. But this error in the office has caused significant issues to our party in Morris County. And you certified an election that was illegitimate.
Thank you for providing us with this document, and thank you for your comments, Mrs. Hahn. Are there other public comments at this time?
I just
Yes.
want to raise the comment,
Could you state your name for the record?
Lynn Ryan. Lynn Ryan.
Thank you.
So I just, I got here late, so I don't know if Carrie brought this up, but the write-ins, people, the state law is that the state law, and it even lists, right, their local political parties in the law must attain at least as many write-ins or exceed, you must attain or exceed the number of write-ins that it takes, or signatures that it takes to be on a petition. And we have 49 people that got sent, well, we think they got sent a certificate, I don't know. I called the other day and Tim wasn't in, and you can get back with me, I don't know if they all got certificates, but I'm still getting calls, people are confused, are they on the committee, are they not on the committee? So 49 people were put on our committee that didn't have 10 signatures. So there's so much confusion, and isn't it ironic that that didn't happen last year when the Democrats ran in their precincts? I don't know.
We didn't run last year. We run next year. Run after.
Okay.
Wow. 3 years ago.
We will, assuming my colleagues agree, we will not only mention this to Mr. Germaine, but we'll be certain that our solicitor is made aware of this as well.
I just want to run, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to be the chair anymore. But I want it to be the rightful people have the vote at a reorganization meeting that I couldn't even schedule because we didn't know who was on the committee and who legally should be on the committee and who legally should not. I mean, I want everybody to join in and help on the Republican committee. But for the vote, it has to be the people who legitimately ran and, got a petition and in Joan's case, made a mistake. But I mean, for God's sakes, the woman's been on the committee for decades. She's been involved for decades. So whatever. Yeah, that's my only comment is it's very frustrating, that this has happened.
Mr. Kennedy, any response? Thank you. Mr. Sanada?
No, I just think the solicitor should look at this as well and should follow whatever the state law is.
Again,
To fix things, I mean, are you gonna be able to fix anything? I don't think so.
Well, again, we'll bring it to his attention, and as we always do, follow his legal advice. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Any other public comments at this time? Thank you. Again, before we adjourn, we'll have another opportunity for public comment. Moving along under fiscal and contractual, we have one warrant registered that has been provided to us by the Controller's Office. It is dated June 30 of this year, and I'll give Dan and Chris time to look it over. And unless you have any questions, we could take a motion to accept this document.
Move to accept the document.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any concerns? If not, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you. The minutes of the July 1 meeting are in our packet. And once again, Dan and Chris, please take time to look them over. And once you're ready, we can take a motion to adopt the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, gentlemen. If there are no concerns, we can take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Under written communications, we have one document that has come in. We received it on July 2. It was dated July 1. It comes from Heidelberg Materials out of Connellsville, Pennsylvania. It is a blast notification noting that Heidelberg Materials will be conducting surface blasting in compliance with all applicable state and federal laws. The blasting will occur on the Midland Large Non-Coal Surface Mine in North Beaver Township, located approximately 1 mile northeast of the borough of Bessemer, west of the intersection of Hoffmaster Road and Smalls Ferry Road, on the McCord Farm Trust LLC and Heidelberg Materials Northeast LLC. And then it goes on to indicate when the blasting will occur. Would one of you gentlemen care to make a motion to have us accept this correspondence?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions or concerns? If not, we'll take a roll call to accept it.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you, Vanessa. Under Commissioner reports and comments, I believe that if I get to go first today, I know my colleagues over the weekend attended a number of events throughout the community, and I'll let each of them talk about that. Looking ahead, later today, the West Central Job Partnership Governing Board, which consists of the 3 of us and the 3 Mercer County Commissioners, will hold our quarterly meeting open to the public at 1:30 this afternoon here in this room. Also, the Lawrence County Planning Commission will hold their monthly meeting at noon tomorrow in this room. It was originally scheduled to be held out at the North Beaver Township Municipal Building. They're undergoing some renovations right now, so the planning meeting has been moved to this room. That's open to the public. Let's see, Mr. Sanada, you're next on the list.
Yeah, Chairman, I think we actually had a very busy, it was a very busy weekend throughout the county. I had an opportunity to stop out to Wilmington on the 3rd. They had their annual fireworks River City Band concert, and the place was filled. We finally had a beautiful night with nice weather. So I got a chance to see that, and you had the Back to the 50s return to Lawrence County after a few years' absence, and the family of Mr. Pardo and many volunteers. I think it was a successful event to bring that back, and I was happy to see that. Also had an opportunity to stop down in Elwood City for a few days at their annual, I think the 43rd annual craft festival. And same thing, it was hot, but people turned out, and there was some really great bands that came to Lawrence County this past weekend between Cascade Park and Elwood City, and some played at both venues over the course of the 3 days. And it was good for Lawrence County, it was good for tourism, because a lot of people came from outside the county and some from outside the state. So we're happy to have seen that. For all the early things that I've seen, that all the events were successful, and let's hope that Back to 50s will return next year, and Elwood City will have their 44th. And Westminster, you must really get a lot of credit out there. I know that's your home turf there, Dan. And it was just great to see that many people that night. And, beautiful venue, Westminster College with the lake and music and everything. So it's pretty much all I have.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Dan?
I don't have much. I was at Wilmington, Wednesday, or Thursday night. There was a lot of people. Very nice. And then my family was all in, so I kind of just stayed around Wilmington all weekend. I didn't get to wander off from there too far. It was too hot for me anyway, so.
It was hot.
Gentlemen, thank you both, and thank you for representing us at the various community events that take place. We'll move on to new business, and I think I saw Vanessa Lovely come in. Vanessa, if you'd like to come forward, please. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you.
You've been out in the sun.
Yes.
You look very healthy.
Oh, well, thank you.
And what's our number on this first resolution?
152.
This is resolution 152. And Vanessa is with the Lawrence County Social Services Organization. And you're here today to discuss the medical assistance transportation program. I'll turn it over to you for that purpose.
Thank you. So back in spring, April of 2025, Lawrence County Social Services, on behalf and in conjunction with the county, submitted our annual application for the Medical Assistance Transportation Program to the PA Department of Human Services. And although the final allocation letter hasn't come out yet, there's some delay at the state level. Conversations with DHS says we should feel comfortable, business as usual in July 1st in providing the program. So I'm here today to ask for your consideration to consider partnering with Lawrence County Social Services for us to operate this program on behalf of the county. From a funding perspective, all money that goes into this program is sent from DHS to the county. And at the end of the month, Lawrence County Social Services bills the county based on services provided, number of trips. And then we do quarterly reports and end of the year reports on behalf of the county for the program. And our application amount for 25-26 is just a little over $2 million. But of course, if we don't provide that level of services, then that money does eventually get returned to the Department of Human Services.
Well, thank you for that information. It's helpful. Let me see if Commissioner Kennedy has any questions. No, sir? Mr. Sanada? Okay. Which I assume means that one of you would be willing to make a motion to move forward with this resolution.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. If there are no other questions or comments, we'll ask Vanessa Bayless to call the roll.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Now, Vanessa, I'm told that this next item it's listed under CYS, but I don't know how you're gonna handle this.
He's gonna
She's
do that.
Talk about this one as well?
Yeah.
Okay, this is number 153. This involves the Allied Coordinated Transportation Services, Inc. And I'll let you fill us in on this one if you could, please.
So, in the last several years, CYS, or the county for CYS, has partnered with ACTS to purchase trips for children in foster placement who need to get to court-ordered visitation or even to school when CYS first has to remove a child from the home during the school year. It's, of course, it's a upheaval for that child. So the goal is really to keep that child in their home school district while kind of the court situation and more permanent placement is found. And ACTS has been doing that on behalf of CYS now for a couple of years. This year in the contract, I did make it a little more vague. It's the exact same fee structure, it's the exact same contract, but I did make it a little more vague in saying county agency. Reason being, and no one has any obligation to purchase trips off of ACTS at all. But occasionally during the course of the last couple of years, I've talked with different county offices or departments who said, well, if we wanted to purchase a trip for so-and-so, and so my thought was, and if I missed the mark, my apologies, was to make it more general. That way I wouldn't have to come back in 2 months if, somebody else, occasionally MHDS will need us for something. So that's more what I'm talking.
Your explanation certainly makes sense to me. Our director, Mr. Baldwin from MHDS is with us. Any concerns?
No, she actually reached out, and this makes perfect sense, so, and we appreciate them being available.
No problem with you, Mr. Rippo?
Everything's good.
Let me see if Mr. Sonata has any questions on this.
No, it's fine with me.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Kennedy? All righty. Guess we're all in accord. Anything else you wish to add?
I would like to, and I'm embarrassed that I didn't notice Scott behind me when I
that's all
walked
right.
in. I was talking with Mike.
He looks different. I have
Maybe
to
he's
look
tan.
twice.
Um,
Distance.
But I did add in here, CYS, let me back up a moment. Through the CDBG funding, there was some, a project submitted to help offset some of the costs to CYS directly for some of the foster transport. So I did add a paragraph in this contract that says, if alternate funding is available, we will always use that first before we would bill CYS or MHDS or, any other county entity that may wish to use us, and that's of course up to them. But so just that last note.
Now, since you brought up Community Development Block Grant, and you may not know the answer to this, and don't feel bad if you don't, but is this something, to your knowledge, that Amy McKinney would be aware of?
Of course, yes,
Okay.
yes. I've talked with Amy and,
Great.
yes.
That's great. She, of course, oversees, she and her office, as many of you know, oversees the CDBG program. Now, with that additional information, does that create any questions from you? Okay, Chris? No. Okay. Anything else? Ready for us to move forward? Okay, this is resolution 153, and once again, the gentlemen from the two departments seem to be in accord with it. So may I have a motion for resolution 153?
I'll make the motion, and I'll second.
Thank you, gentlemen. And if there are no other concerns or questions, we'll ask for a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. Well, it's great to have you here, and as we say to everybody, if you have to head back to work, we understand that you're also welcome to stay.
Thank you very much, Jonathan.
Pleasure to see you. And you take care.
Sure you don't want to do mine?
Well, let's see, Mike Grippo is with us, of course, from CYS, and looks like, Mike, you have 4 proposals this morning. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
And as we sometimes do, I'll see if Dan and Chris are okay with Mike discussing the 4, And if you're both comfortable, we could take a motion to do all four, but we can also split them out if we
I'm fine.
Okay, thank you. So we'll start with number, and as you always do, Mike, you gave us this helpful document. The first, resolution 154, these are all renewals. And this first one deals with an organization known as AmGuard Inc., based in Pittsburgh, Allegheny County. Mike, what can you tell us about this one?
That's our security person. He does a great job. He walks around the outside, covers all the floors, making sure, every hour on the hour. So they've been with us for a few years now. And it's under 3% increase with the charge.
Does he make sure that you behave?
Well, that's one thing that, I try to hide when he comes around.
I'll ask Mr. Kennedy if he has any questions on this first one.
None at all.
Chris? Okay, so we'll move forward on that one for now, possibly take it with the other ones. Number 155 is a renewal. I want to pronounce it Auberly, based in McKeesport, Allegheny County. And we've seen this one before, but can you remind us as to what they provide?
They're a foster care provider, no increase from last year. Now, we haven't had a child since, 23, 24, we didn't have any. So we haven't had a child. They're more of a backup in case we get stuck with a child at the office at midnight. So currently there's none. We haven't used them in a while, but there's no increase in their rate from last year.
Mr. Sonata, any questions for Mike?
No.
Mr. Kennedy?
None.
Okay, thank you. Number 156 would be Bethesda Lutheran Services, based up in Meadville in Crawford County. Can you give us some background on this one?
Yeah, they provide group home and foster care. The group home rates range from about $160 to $530. Their foster care rate is around $68. They're under 3% increase from last year. We had 2 years ago, we had 2 children. Last year we had 2, but currently we don't have any in that facility right now.
Well, thank you on that one, Mike. Dan, any questions?
None.
No. Chris? No. Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Number 157 brings us closer to home. This would be a contract with Cray Youth and Family Services, and they're of course headquartered here in the city of Newcastle. So,
Yeah.
Mike, you want to give us some
Yeah,
information on this one?
This is their foster care program. 0% increase from last year. And we've had, like 2 years ago, we've had 18 children, 14 last year. We have 6 now currently. But they're a provider that's been with us for a long time. And like I said, no increase from last year.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Chris, questions? No. Dan, anything?
No.
Well, we've heard the proposals from Mr. Grippo, which include resolutions 154 up through and including 157. If the board is so inclined, would one of you wish to make a motion to approve all 4 of these?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, gentlemen. And then are there any final questions for Mike while he's here? If not, we'll have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you, Vanessa. Well, Mike, appreciate your joining us today, and I'm guessing we'll see you next week.
You'll see me next.
All right, that's great.
Okay.
Stay safe.
You too.
Take care, Mike. We have 3 proposals this morning from Mental Health. You okay? Mental Health and Developmental Services. Scott Baldwin is the director of that department, and he and his staff certainly do great work over there. And like we did with Mike, if you gentlemen don't mind, we'll walk through all 3 and perhaps move on all 3 with one motion, or we can split it out if we have to. Scott, the first one I see here is Resolution 158, which is Achieve Rehabilitation Services and Support. based here in the city of Newcastle. Can you tell us about this one?
Sure. So this is the start of our new fiscal year contracts. So I'll be here quite a bit moving forward. For Achieve, this is paid out of the Human Services Block Grant, which we're waiting to get passed sooner than later. And all our contracts, our providers know that they don't get paid till we get our funds. But this contract will start July 1st, 2025 and run through to June 30th, 26. Again, paid out of Human Services Block Grant, which is no county dollars. This is a renewal contract, and Achieve is a provider that does psychiatric rehabilitation. These are groups that are run up at the old West Side Elementary School at the Care Center. These would be folks who normally would stay home and sort of isolate, but this program encourages folks to come together. So it's a site-based, but it's also a mobile program. They can go to their apartments as well. It's a small amount, it's only $25,000, but it's a great program and we're appreciative of that service.
Scott, thank you, and I'll see if Mr. Kennedy has any questions. Thank you, Mr. Sanada. All righty. That takes us to number 159, which is another organization based here in Lawrence County, Northview Estates Limited Partnership. Scott, can you give us some background on this?
So same thing again, this is a fiscal year Human Services Block Grant contract starting July 1st, 2025, running through to June 30th, 2026. No cost to the county. This is a personal care home. We're very fortunate to have several in Lawrence County that partner with us to accept our referrals. Across Western PA, we've seen a lot of personal care homes close. So we value Northview a lot. We have several people that live there. And so this contract is for $65,000 and it's just to support our folks that are living there. We're appreciative of them and their relationship with us.
Thank you. Your information is very helpful. Chris, questions for Scott? No? Dan? Okay, thank you. And by the way, Scott, I'm assuming that, and you may have said it, so forgive me, but these are all renewals. Is that
These are all renewals.
Okay, thank you. And then finally, number 160, once again, we're staying within the county boundaries. This would be a contract with the Human Services Center, which is based here in the city of Newcastle.
And again, a renewal contract paid out of Human Services Block Grant funding, no cost to the county. This runs from July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. And I'm sure you're all familiar with Human Services Center. They've been the county's base service unit clinic for many years. Very, very appreciative of all the work they do. These funds cover folks' housing supports, case management, their medications, their counseling, in addition to other things that they do, suicide prevention, just a list of services that are vital to folks' recovery. And this is really an ongoing contract with them every year. So the total amount is large, but we ask a lot of Human Services Center. So the total dollar amount is $3,754,600. That's actually a slight decrease from last year. Some programs have seen decrease in activity, so we've shifted some dollars to other providers, but that's the amount. They offer a lot, and they haven't go into any of the details that you have. But again, Human Services is sort of a staple for us.
Is it safe to say that of all the agencies to which you provide funding, this would be either the largest or one of the largest in terms of the dollar amount?
It's the biggest.
Okay.
I think LARC would be probably the second largest. And again, they've been here for over 50 years, so we'd be lost without them.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Dan, questions on this one? Chris? Okay. Well, those are the three that Mr. Baldwin has for us this morning. And if my colleagues would wish, I could take a motion to approve resolutions 158, 159, 160 all together if you'd like.
I'll make it.
I'll second the motion. Thank you, gentlemen. Any other concerns? Hearing none. Vanessa, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you so much. Scott, thanks for coming over. Will you be back next week, do you think?
Next week would probably be formal.
Okay, that's great.
I'll give you a break.
That's fine. No, you're always welcome.
Take care.
Have a great day. We have two matters in front of us this morning for consideration from the jail. And Deputy Warden Spillvogel is with us. Good morning, Loretta.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming over. We'll do these separately, if you don't mind, but since there are only two of them and they both have different subject matters. The first one, we're certainly pleased to have this one come before us. This is Resolution 161. It would allow for the county to enter into an agreement with Beaver County for our county to house direct file interest of justice juvenile offenders. But I'll let you give us the details if you'd like.
That's pretty much it. It's a general contract that we are entering into with as many counties as we can. This is one that has been executed by Beaver. I visited Beaver a month or so ago, spoke with their prison board. And they actually have, if you have a copy of it or not, but they have actually executed their end of it through their commissioners at their meeting, I believe, early last week. And the information is here in the contract. It's like I said, our general contract. We currently do not house any juveniles from Beaver County, but in the event that we could get them in the future, we would have the contract executed and be able to enter into that agreement with them. And so if it is something that we're willing to do, I could have that sent to them once we have the resolution done, and we would have the contract in place.
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
Mr. Sanada?
No, it's something we want to do, and hopefully we get them with more counties, because that streamlines the system, especially for potential juveniles. I think it's a good idea.
Thank you. Mr. Kennedy?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, likewise, thank you for your efforts on this one, and we'll note that the amount of pay, if we were to accept one or more of the individuals, would be $500 per day. But thank you again for pulling this together, Loretta. May I have a motion
I'll
for
make that motion.
approval, 161? Thank you, Chris.
I'll second.
Thank you, Dan. If there are no other concerns, we'll take a roll call.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thanks, Vanessa. And then the next item, number 162, would have the county enter into an agreement, which would be a consultant contract agreement with Zorilla Consulting. And this ties in with a number of grants that the county has been receiving specifically for the jail. But I'll let you talk about it if you'd like.
Thank you. Lisa Zarilla has been running the grant programming through our medically assisted treatment programming and the outpatient services that we have at the jail. She recently put in her retirement, but because of the grants that we do have and the necessity of having somebody fill that position, and then also to not overwhelm them with all of the fiscal responsibility and the paperwork and the reporting to the state, we would like to enter an agreement with Lisa to continue to work with us through at least this grant period. The grant ends, the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency grant ends at the end of December of this year, with the opportunity to extend it into next year. And then also, if there are more grants going to be made available, the program can continue to be funded through these grant services. But because of the nature of the necessity of having somebody to assist, Lisa has agreed to, if approved, to stay on as consultant to handle the consulting services. And that would be as listed in the scope of services, reviewing and assisting with grant reporting obligations, providing the quality assurance support, offering the technical guidance to the MAT and outpatient programming staff, and then to assist in identifying, preparing, and submitting future grant proposals with prior approval. I'd be hopeful that that is something that the board would consider doing to keep us moving forward in the right direction. We have an excellent program, highly touted throughout the state, that we offer the things that we do, and we are the only county jail that does offer some of the services that are here at Lawrence County.
And that's thank you for noting all of that.
Yes. Yes.
And I was also glad, because you talked about future grants, and she would play a role in the application process for them. So that's great. I'll note that the contract would state that the amount allocated towards this service would not exceed $4,800 annually. Let me see if Commissioner Kennedy has any questions. No, sir? Mr. Sanada? No. Okay, thank you. Could I have a motion then? Anything else on this one? Could I have a motion for resolution 162?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Gentlemen, thank you both, and if there are no other concerns, we'll ask Vanessa to call the roll.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Loretta, thanks for bringing
Thank you.
both of these to our attention.
Thank you
and,
so much.
Appreciate your
Support
time
in
and
the
effort.
programming. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
As we say to everybody else, you're welcome to stay, but if you have to head back across the street, we understand. Thanks again, Loretta. Okay. Item 12, this would be proposed resolution 163. And I'm going to turn this over, if he doesn't mind, to Mr. Vanasco, but if my colleagues wish to add comments, we'll certainly allow for that as well. But if you don't object, I'm going to have Joe talk about this. This would authorize the commissioners to solicit an RFQ, request for proposal on qualifications from interested firms for an energy savings performance contracting project. But I know, Joe, you've worked on this,
I
you've
have.
been in consultation with the solicitor. You've obviously kept us in the loop, but if you don't mind, can you give us some background?
Absolutely. As you said, it's a request for qualifications. And from a county's perspective or my perspective, what I see this as is being able to find a single point of contact from a professional that can help with two major projects that we have around the courthouse. The first and most important is the roof project. Our roof was put on, I believe the courthouse was 1978. So that's how old our roof over the government center is right now. So we've been talking about it for some time. And this would be a single point of contact for that. Also, in today's day and age, a big savings in energy, a second project would be looking at the same company, being able to oversee a transition from regular lighting to LED lighting to save money for the cost savings. If I had to pick, the first of the two would certainly be the roof, and then look at moving it into doing the lighting in the courthouse. Much like in architectural firms that we've used in the past, like I said, we just want to see somebody oversee these projects and help us out with them. I'm certainly not qualified to tell you what's the best shingle or most energy efficient thing to be done on a roof. So initially I thought it would probably fall under a professional service. However, as I've explored it and the route we want to go is what's called a GISA project. And GISA stands for Guaranteed Energy Savings Act. GISA allows for a lot of these projects to remain budget neutral, first and foremost, which is vitally important in our financial state of the county. Basically, we could, if we entered into agreement through GISA, this would allow us to actually pay the cost of the projects via the energy savings that we see. And that's one of the real benefits of looking towards GISA. GISA also allows us to really drive down the cost through expanded networks of people that could be applying to actually replace the roof, or the lighting projects. So there's a competitive bidding process through GISA. And GISA also allows us to apply for different grants that we otherwise would not be allowed to help with the cost factors.
Well, I want to begin, I want to thank you for all the work you've put into this. Number one, I think we should thank Solicitor Madore, because I think he's offered some guidance.
Absolutely, yes.
Chris and I can take about this much credit. This gentleman's focused on it, and I really appreciate the time and effort that you've, Dan has far better mechanical understanding than, no disrespect, but we both admit our knowledge of that is a little more limited. So Dan, thanks for your time and input. And this is the first of a number of steps that we're going to be taking that will ultimately lead to a new roof.
Absolutely. This is really, in some, it'd be like step number one. We would pick out of the applicants who apply, the commissioners would pick the single point of contact or the lead on it. From there, that's really where the competitive bidding comes in and the bids that we've seen in the past. The roof project will still be totally bid out as we always do. More than likely on pen bid that Controller Preston Prime uses now. But the first thing we need is to identify that person that's going to oversee this.
Again, this is the roof part of it is applicable only to this building. The old courthouse had a relatively new roof put on maybe about 10 years ago or so.
I don't even know if it's been 10, maybe 7.
Frank Carey would know.
He would know. I still remember the morning I came in and he had called me at 6:30 in the morning and when I got here, he was standing right in the middle of the main roof up right now. He said, "Come on up." I said, "Not a chance."
Well, and we have to thank the courts. Obviously, they're on the 3rd floor, and we've had some leaks, you would recall. We've had some leaks, given the age of the roof on this building. And some of the leaks have entered into the courtrooms. And our judges have been very understanding, and they've been very patient. And I mean, when we've been made aware of a leak, we've addressed it right away. But again, our courts, we appreciate their patience. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Kennedy, because again, you've played a role in this, and I'd see if you have any comments or questions.
The only comment I got is just get it done because we're coming. This is July already. We were talking about this last year, but because of how slow government works, I'll say, it takes time to get this done. But Joe, thank you. I beat Joe up probably every day. Keep things moving, but I'm getting used to the way government works, and sometimes you can't just go up there and put a roof on it if you'd like to. We're getting there. That's the main thing. And thank you, Joe. Joe and I kid around a lot about this, but we're getting there. That's the main thing.
Again, thank you for your efforts too, Dan, and your expertise. Mr. Sanada, questions or comments?
No, I want to echo your comments. I think this is something we've talked about actually for the past year and a half since we got here. And I know looking at the lighting system, I know Mr. Kennedy, that was one of his first things he looked at when we walked around the building was the lights and to get them energy saving. And I think we took a major step last year with our looking to cut energy costs. And that's paid off for the county. This is step 2. And Joe, thank you for your efforts because this is something we've been talking about, this roof. And Stan said we got to get this done, especially before the winter. And it's one of those long-term investments. I know we put money aside to try to cover this costs. And, we want to make sure it gets done. And like I said, I think that if we get these energy efficient lights in there, it's going to really go a long way for the future, saving money for the county. I think that's the most important thing. So thanks, Joe, and thank you for your efforts. I know when it comes to lights, that's one of your specialties. I know you try to change a few out there, but Joe said no.
Joe won't let me do it.
Well, this is proposed resolution 163, noting that the county intends to use this request for proposal of qualifications to qualify and select a firm that would conduct an investment grade audit and award contracts to perform these facility improvements that we've discussed, including cost-effective energy conservation retrofits. 3 sealed paper quotes shall be submitted by July 22 of this year at 3 p.m. to the county controller. And 1 electronic copy shall be submitted to Mr. Prestipine, who is the county controller.
Dan, the legal ad will be in the paper tomorrow and next Wednesday.
You read my mind. That was my next question. You're way ahead of me as always. So thank you. There will be a forthcoming legal ad, so thank you. Any other concerns before I entertain a motion for this? May I have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, gentlemen. Joe, anything else?
No, thank you.
Chris or Dan? Okay. And again, thanks, Vanessa, for noting when the legal ad will be
You're
appearing.
welcome.
We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 164 is a transfer request that has come to us from the voter's office. The total request is $20,953.30. We're breaking this out as follows. It's all coming from the commissioner's contingency. $18,453.30 is going towards materials and supplies, and $2,500 is going toward travel and training, and these costs are applicable to the 2025 primary election. This is Resolution 164. Chris, any questions? No? Dan? None. Okay. May I have a motion for this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you both, gentlemen. We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. We have 3 administrative transfers before us. I'll walk us through them. Stop me if you have questions. And then if you're willing, we can always take one motion to cover the 3. The district attorney's office, this is more of a technical amendment, if you will. They're asking for a $10,000 transfer from their vehicle expense line item into the capital asset line item. This was just simply a deposit that had been made into the wrong line item. We're making that clarification and correction. And it's noted here that the controller is aware of this and has actually given the district attorney the correct account number as to where this money belongs. Dan or Chris, any questions? Okay. Jail is asking for an $8,000 transfer from their contingency into the gas line item. You may recall, this was actually, we had a similar request last week, and then I think the determination was made that that was not a sufficient amount. Is that your
Correct.
understanding?
Yes, thank you.
And that leads us to have to do this a second time. Let me see if there are any questions from either Dan or Chris. Okay, once again, this is an $8,000 transfer from the jail's contingency into their gas bill line item. And Children and Youth Services is asking for a $35,000 transfer from contracted provider care into court-related costs, and this is to cover expenses for locate and serve, as well as adoption reimbursable expenses. Those are the 3 transfer requests that we've received. If there are no questions, but yes, sir, go ahead, Dan.
The $8,000, is that the same number we did last?
Yes.
Yes.
That is correct.
So we have $16,000 in gas because of our boiler.
Yeah, it was our boiler and our water tanks, just early years, just absolutely,
Paying us off
decimated
fees.
average budget amount.
We got that fixed.
Yes. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, when I saw this earlier, Dan, I actually went to Vanessa and said, hey, we just did this a week ago. Is this perhaps an accidental repeat? She contacted the administration at the jail and found out, no, they need this additional $8,000. Other concerns, gentlemen? Could I then have a motion to approve the 3 transfers that we have in front of us?
I'll second.
Thank you both. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Sinata,
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Some announcements, the Board of Commissioners will once again meet a week from today, July 15, at 10 a.m. in this room, open to the public. As we noted earlier, the Lawrence County Planning Commission will hold its monthly meeting tomorrow, July 9, at 12 noon in this room. At the beginning of the year, it was advertised that it would be held at the North Beaver Township Municipal Building. They've had to move it here because of renovation work that's going on at the township building. So public meeting of the Planning Commission will be here tomorrow, 12 noon. And the County Prison Board will meet 1 week from tomorrow, Wednesday, July 16 at 12 noon, also in this room, also open to the public. And speaking of the public, we have one person in the audience. I'll open it for any public comment. Thank you, Loretta. Closing comments from my fellow commissioners. Mr. Sanada? No. No? Thank you. Mr. Kennedy?
I'm good.
All righty, thank you, sir. Any concerns from either Joe or Vanessa?
No.
Okay, thank you both. There being no other business to be brought before the board, could I have an adjournment motion?
I make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye, opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody. And Joe, you'll take care of turning off the computer. Thank you all. Who did you need? We'll wait for, I don't know if you needed all of us or just, you did, okay. Just give us 1 second.